Today's story is The Dream of Angus Ock from Pocket Old Irish Stories. While Angus, the youngest son of the doctor, High King of the Cedar, I have no idea how to pronounce this Irish word, was sleeping in his chamber one moonlit night, he saw a beautiful young woman standing at the end of his bed. She had long black hair and green eyes, and wore a golden necklace around her slender neck. Angus stretched out his hand to her, but as soon as he was close to touching her, she disappeared. When he woke up the next day, there was no sign that she had been in his chamber. All that day his thoughts were filled with her, and he felt again and again the disappointment of her disappearance before he could touch her or speak to her. He went to bed early that night, hoping she would come to him again in his dreams. When he was fast asleep, the beautiful young woman appeared again, this time with a harp on which she played the sweetest music Angus had ever heard. As soon as he reached out his hand to touch her, she disappeared, no word having passed her lips. Every night for a year and a day, Angus was visited by the young woman, and each night she disappeared without speaking a word. Then the visits stopped as suddenly as they had begun, and Angus began to pine away, refusing to eat or take any exercise. Soon he fell ill, and no druid in Ireland was able to find a cure for him. One day a druid came to Angus' home, and when he was told that the youngest son of the house was ailing, he asked to see him. As soon as he laid eyes on him, he could see that the young man was wasting away for love of a woman. Angus told him about the beautiful young woman and her harp, and how she had come to his chamber every night for a year and a day. The druid spoke to Angus' mother, Bowen, and he told her to search the length and breadth of Ireland for the young woman. He told her that Angus could not be saved unless the young woman was brought to him as soon as possible. So Bowen sent messengers to the furthest corners of Ireland, but after a year and a day they had not found the young woman. "Send for the doctor," said the druid, "so that he can speak to his son." But when the doctor came, he could do nothing for his son. He went to see Both, the king of the city of Munster, who was renowned for his wisdom. "My son has been wasting away for 2 years for love of a young woman who came to him in his dreams, but no one can find her," he said to Both. "I'm afraid he will die if she is not found soon." He described the young woman to Both, who sent his own messengers on a quest for someone of her appearance. After a year they found someone of her description at Dragon amongst a company of beautiful women. Both reported their findings to the doctor, who immediately sent for Angus to see if it was the woman who had appeared to him. When he was given the news that the young woman had been found, Angus jumped off his bed and rode in his chariot for 3 days and nights until we reached Both fort. Both welcomed Angus with a feast, as befitted the son of the doctor, and after 3 days they went down to Dragon. As soon as Angus saw the group of young women, he was able to pick out the woman of his dreams. She was the only one among them wearing a golden necklace. "Who is she?" asked Angus. "She is Care, daughter of Ethel of the Connacht city," replied Both, "but Ethel will not allow you to take her away." "What can I do?" Angus asked the doctor. "I will die if I can't have her with me." "We will go to see Queen Maeve of Connacht and Ailill her husband. She is from their province, and they may be able to persuade Ethel to release her to you." So the doctor set off for Connacht with a great retinue, and was welcomed by Maeve and Ailill, who held a great feast that went on for a week, as was the doctor's due. But when the doctor asked if they would speak to Ethel on his son's behalf, they said they had no power over him to ask him to do anything. However, Ailill agreed to send a messenger to Ethel. When the messenger returned, he said that Ethel had refused to come to the court, and had said that he would not give his daughter to the son of the doctor. Ailill and the doctor were greatly angered by this, and they set out with a company of soldiers. Ethel was captured and brought before Ailill. "Give your daughter to the son of the doctor," he ordered, although he knew that he was not in a position to command Ethel. "I cannot," said Ethel. "She has been cursed, and can take the shape of a woman only 1 year in 2. "And what about the other years?" asked the doctor. "She must take the shape of a bird," said Ethel. "Which bird?" asked Ailill. "From next month she will take the shape of a swan at Lochbaldragin, and her hundreds of handmaidens will also take that shape. If you go there, you will see her, but if Angus wants to be with her, he must take her shape each time she changes." Ethel was then set free, and the doctor went home and told Angus about everything that had happened. The next month Angus set out for Lochbaldragin, and saw 200 white swans on the water, each with a silver necklace around its neck. He stood right at the edge of the water and called out for Care. "Who is calling for me?" asked Care, appearing from the multitude of swans, her gold necklace shimmering in the sunlight. "It is Angus," he said. "I have come to be with you. If the only way I can do that is to take the shape of a swan myself, I am willing to do it." So Care came to the edge of the water, and Angus put his 2 hands on her, and he was immediately turned into a swan. They flew up into the air together and travelled to Brúnaboinn, accompanied by music so sweet that anyone who heard it fell into a deep sleep for 3 days. Angus and Care stayed together forever, spending 1 year in human form and the next in the shape of birds, usually swans. And to show his gratitude for the part they had played in bringing him to Care, Angus helped Maeve and Ailill when they got involved in the cattle raid of Cooley, the Tyne Boculne. But that's another story. The end. That was The Dream of Angus Og from Pocket Old Irish Stories.